Honesty is the first chapter in the Book of Wisdom. Thomas Jefferson. Honesty is something we all value, or at least something most of us say we value. On the other hand, it is not uncommon to hear,
"Everybody lies."
Honesty is the act of expressing things truthfully and with no deceitful intent. To express oneself honestly is to express that which really is going on in one's mind. Honesty can be seen as a synonym to trustworthiness, truthfulness, and even fairness. Considering this definition, most of us are not completely honest. A friend might ask what we think of their new dress or jacket, and oftentimes we say what we think the other person wants to hear instead of what we actually think, given that what we think is something we expect the other person to feel bad about. In this way, most of us participate in small lies. Sometimes we call these kinds of lies white lies. But I feel like that is an effort to control the cognitive dissonance caused by our valuing honesty and us participating in lying. But honesty doesn't work like this. We can't have it both ways. Either we disclose what we believe is the one and only truth, or, for a reason or another, we don't. Honesty is a difficult matter, which is the reason I'm making this video. The reason honesty is such an important topic when it comes to our social life is because of one key trait we humans have: trust. Trust is the cornerstone of meaningful and fulfilling social relationships. Without trust, painful truths cannot be disclosed, and deep relationships based on truth cannot be formed. If we think about something that we believe might hurt another person, even though it is something we feel like we should say, we might not, because we do not trust that the other person will be able to deal with it wisely. If we cannot bear to hear something awful about someone, we might instinctively ignore a legit source of information to avoid believing something bad about a loved one. If we do not trust ourselves and only fear failure, we might never do what we feel is important and valuable to us. Trust in both others and ourselves is paramount if we hold truth in any value. Honesty, while often maintained as a virtue, is therefore not an easy feat to achieve. Honesty requires courage and wisdom, both of which are becoming more and more rare as we lose ourselves into hyper-real social worlds. As identity and individuality become the foundations upon which the notion of a good life and a good person are built on, honesty slowly loses its practical meaning. Instead of giving people what they really need, we give them what they want, often in fear of offending. But as Thomas Paine put it, he who dares not offend cannot be honest. Honesty has become a burden in the age of fakeness, where most lives appear to us through social media, in filtered, hand-picked, and heavily manipulated highlight reels, under which many hide their deep sense of dissatisfaction in life. The biggest risk in being honest to others is that it can make the other aware that their image of you is but a fantasy of their own making, that you do not live up to what they had created in their own minds. This is especially true in romantic relationships. Because saying what is nice instead of saying what is true makes others like us more. Being dishonest makes it easier to live with other people. But there is a price. As long as we maintain that honesty is a virtue and that truth is valuable, being dishonest also makes it harder to live with yourself. Being honest, on the other hand, makes it harder to live with other people, but easier to live with yourself. In this day and age, we're often forced to choose between these two bad options. Will you be a likable liar and abandon the virtue of honesty? Or will you risk being hated for disclosing your unpleasant truth? Nothing in this world is harder than speaking the truth. Nothing easier than flattery. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Each of us must make this choice alone. If you value truth and trust, and wish not to be lied to, you should choose to express yourself honestly in as many situations as you can. If you value harmony, lack of conflict, neutrality, and perhaps peace, then sometimes omitting the truth or painting it with pretty colors won't harm you. Unless you get caught by someone who didn't want to be lied to. But if we want others to trust us, then we must, as often as humanly possible, despite the potential for conflict, tell the truth and not lie. Lies taint trust more than anything, because they instill a seed of doubt into the mind of the victim. A seed that, unless weeded out by the liar, will eventually sprout into a fully grown disbelief in the mind of the one who was lied to. And no meaningful relationship can ever be established with a person who you cannot believe, no matter what they say or do. I'm not upset that you lied to me. I'm upset that from now on, I cannot believe you. Friedrich Nietzsche. In light of all this, each and every one of us must make a choice. Do we want to be likable, or do we want to be believable?